For centuries, the Bible has been a source of spiritual guidance, moral wisdom, and religious teachings for billions of people worldwide. Its verses have shaped civilizations, influenced cultures, and provided a framework for how many of us live our lives. Yet, for all its influence, the Bible is often regarded as a book of simple stories, tales of faith, sacrifice, and redemption. But what if there's more to it? What if the Bible holds secrets, lessons that are far deeper, more profound, and more applicable to our modern lives than we've ever realized? As we embark on this journey together, we'll explore some of the Bible's hidden teachings, insights that can change the way we think about business, relationships, success, and the challenges we face every day. These teachings are not just religious principles, but timeless truths that transcend the pages of Scripture and resonate in the lives of people. Whether they are believers or not, the stories found within these sacred texts are not confined to a distant past. They speak to us today, guiding us through the struggles and triumphs of the 21st century. You might be wondering, how can something written thousands of years ago have anything to do with the fast-paced, competitive world I live in? The answer lies in the profound nature of these teachings. At their core, the Bible's secrets are not bound by time or place. Whether we are navigating the complexities of the modern workplace, struggling with personal relationships, or trying to understand the deeper purpose of our existence, the Bible offers principles that remain relevant and powerful. Take, for example, the story of Joseph, one of the Bible's most famous figures. Joseph's journey is one of hardship, betrayal, and ultimate triumph. Sold into slavery by his brothers, falsely accused of a crime, and imprisoned, Joseph's life seemed to be one of constant setbacks. Yet, his unwavering faith and resilience transformed his situation. He eventually rose to power in Egypt, becoming second only to Pharaoh. But what can we, in the modern world, learn from Joseph's story? How does his narrative apply to the challenges we face in today's business environment, where failure and adversity often feel insurmountable? The Bible teaches us not only about faith, but also about the importance of perseverance, integrity, and vision. It emphasizes the value of patience, the power of forgiveness, and the transformative nature of love, qualities that are not only vital for personal growth, but also essential in building lasting success in any field, especially business. In this deep dive, we'll uncover these secrets, exploring the Bible's most impactful lessons and how they can be applied in our everyday lives. From the wisdom of Proverbs to the leadership lessons in the story of David, we will look beyond the surface to reveal the powerful truths that can help us navigate both our personal and professional lives with wisdom, grace, and purpose. One of the most fundamental yet often overlooked lessons in the Bible is the virtue of patience. Patience, in a world where everything moves at a breakneck pace, is often considered a weakness. We live in an age of instant gratification, where information, food, and even entertainment are available at the touch of a button. People expect quick results in their careers, relationships, and personal goals, often believing that speed is a measure of success. However, the Bible offers a radically different perspective on this. In the book of James, we are reminded that the testing of your faith produces perseverance, James chapter 1 verse 3. This passage alone suggests that patience is not just about waiting, it's about actively enduring, maintaining hope, and using adversity as a tool for personal growth. This is a lesson that can deeply influence how we approach our work and the challenges that we face every day. To understand the true power of patience, we need to look at the story of Job, a man whose patience and faith were tested in ways that few of us could imagine. Job's story is one of incredible suffering. He lost his wealth, his health, and his family. His friends and even his wife urged him to abandon his faith. But Job remained steadfast. His patience was not about waiting idly for his circumstances to improve. It was about trusting in a greater plan and remaining faithful even when it seemed like everything around him was falling apart. In a business context, Job's story has profound implications. Many entrepreneurs and business leaders experience moments of doubt, failure, and overwhelming stress. The path to success is rarely smooth. It is often riddled with obstacles and setbacks. The lesson from Job is clear: endurance and patience are essential. The journey may be difficult, and the rewards may not be immediate, but maintaining faith and perseverance will lead to growth, both personally and professionally. Job's patience was not passive, it was an active, conscious decision to trust in a higher purpose. This is a crucial distinction. Patience, as the Bible teaches, is not simply about tolerating difficult situations, but about remaining focused on long-term goals and maintaining integrity and faith in the process. This is a valuable lesson for anyone in the business world, where the temptation to cut corners, give up, or abandon ethical principles in the face of adversity is ever present. Another example from the Bible that highlights the importance of patience is the story of Abraham. Abraham was promised by God that he would become the father of many nations. Yet he and his wife Sarah waited for many years without seeing this promise fulfilled. In fact, it was only after decades of waiting, and when Abraham was well over 100 years old, that his son Isaac was born. This long period of waiting tested Abraham's faith and patience in a way that most of us can hardly comprehend. Abraham's story teaches us that patience is often the key to receiving the blessings that we are promised. But those blessings may not come according to our timeline. In business, we often expect quick returns on our investments, rapid progress in our projects, or immediate success. However, just like Abraham, we must understand that some of the best outcomes take time. The process may feel like a test of faith, but it is a necessary part of the journey. Like Abraham, we are often called to hold on to our vision and trust that things will come to fruition in their own time. The Bible also teaches us that patience is closely linked to humility and the ability to recognize that we are not in control of everything. In the book of Proverbs, it is said, "A person's wisdom yields patience. It is to one's glory to overlook an offense." Proverbs chapter 19 verse 11. This verse reminds us that patience is not just about enduring, it is about responding with wisdom to the challenges that we face. In our fast-paced, often competitive world, we are quick to react, whether in business, relationships, or everyday life. Yet the Bible suggests that true wisdom lies in taking a step back, being slow to anger, and exercising patience, especially when faced with adversity. In the business world, impatience can often lead to rash decisions. It might push a leader to make hasty investments or overlook the long-term consequences of a short-term win. Patience, however, is a strategy in itself. In fact, research has shown that successful entrepreneurs and leaders tend to be those who can endure hardship, adapt to challenges, and take calculated risks with a steady hand. The ability to wait, to resist the temptation to make quick fixes, and to trust the process is not only a spiritual virtue but a strategic advantage in business as well. Looking at the story of the Israelites wandering in the desert for 40 years also offers a deep reflection on patience. God led the Israelites out of Egypt with promises of a new land, a land flowing with milk and honey. Yet, despite the promises, the journey was long and arduous. The Israelites were often frustrated, doubted, and even rebellious. But through it all, their faith in the journey was tested. God's patience with them, and their ability to learn the value of waiting and trusting, shaped the destiny of an entire nation. For anyone who has ever started a new business or undertaken a significant personal project, the story of the Israelites is particularly relevant. At the outset, everything seems clear. There is a vision, a goal, and excitement about the future. But along the way, there will be times when the road seems uncertain, the goals distant, and the results delayed. It is in these moments that the true test of patience emerges. Like the Israelites, we are often called to endure in the face of difficulty, trusting that the end goal will be worth the effort, even if the journey seems endless. As we continue to explore the hidden teachings of the Bible, it's clear that patience is not a passive quality. It's a powerful tool, one that helps us navigate the toughest of times, strengthens our resolve, and leads to the ultimate success, whether in our personal lives, our businesses, or our spiritual journeys. Another profound lesson from the Bible that has far-reaching implications in both personal life and business is the concept of forgiveness. In an era of quick judgments, harsh competition, and unforgiving deadlines, the idea of forgiveness can seem like an outdated virtue. Yet, the Bible offers a radically different approach, one that demonstrates the immense power forgiveness holds, not just for the individual but for the entire community, including the workplace. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus teaches his disciples the importance of forgiveness in a powerful parable known as the parable of the unforgiving servant, Matthew chapter 18 verses 21 to 35. In this parable, a king forgives a servant's enormous debt, one that the servant could never repay in a lifetime. However, when that same servant encounters a fellow servant who owes him a much smaller amount, he refuses to forgive the debt and has the man thrown into prison. The king, upon hearing of this, is enraged and punishes the unforgiving servant, emphasizing the moral, "Shouldn't you have had mercy on your fellow servant just as I had on you?" The parable of the unforgiving servant is a stark reminder that forgiveness is not merely a moral obligation, but a divine principle that impacts our relationships, our communities, and even our work environments. When we hold grudges or refuse to forgive, we are not just harming others, we are ultimately harming ourselves. In business, this is particularly relevant. Holding onto resentment, grudges, or past failures can limit growth, damage relationships, and hinder progress. By forgiving, we create a space for new opportunities, stronger relationships, and innovative thinking. Forgiveness is especially important for leaders. A leader who is quick to forgive, who recognizes mistakes as opportunities for learning rather than reasons for punishment, will foster a healthy, positive work environment. This is a lesson demonstrated time and again in the Bible. In the story of Joseph, for instance, we see the ultimate act of forgiveness. After being sold into slavery by his brothers, Joseph later becomes a powerful leader in Egypt. When famine strikes, his brothers, who are unaware of Joseph's rise to power, come to Egypt seeking food. In an emotional encounter, Joseph reveals himself to his brothers. Rather than seeking revenge, Joseph forgives them, stating, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good." Genesis chapter 50 verse 20. His forgiveness transforms the family dynamic and ultimately saves his people. Joseph's act of forgiveness is not only a spiritual or personal story, but also a profound lesson for modern business leaders. In a workplace, conflicts and mistakes are inevitable, whether it's a misunderstanding between colleagues, an employee who fails to meet expectations, or a difficult business decision that leads to disappointment. There will always be situations that test our ability to forgive. By choosing to forgive, we can heal broken relationships, rebuild trust, and promote collaboration. Forgiveness doesn't mean ignoring wrongdoings or condoning bad behavior. It's about releasing the negative emotions tied to the offense and allowing the individual or organization to move forward. It's about making the conscious decision to prioritize the long-term health of relationships and teams over short-term satisfaction or retaliation. The Bible teaches that true forgiveness leads to peace, and this peace is a powerful catalyst for success in any organization. Consider the example of Jesus on the cross. Despite the immense suffering he endured, he chose to forgive those who persecuted him. "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." Luke chapter 23 verse 34. This is perhaps the most powerful demonstration of forgiveness in history. It teaches us that forgiveness, even in the face of extreme betrayal or injustice, is an act of strength, not weakness. In business, we may not face persecution on the scale that Jesus did, but we will encounter moments where our trust is broken, our patience is tested, and our ability to forgive will be crucial. In the modern business world, forgiveness can also play a key role in resolving conflicts within teams or organizations. Often, the workplace is a melting pot of diverse opinions, work styles, and personalities, and disagreements are bound to arise. Leaders who foster a culture of forgiveness create an atmosphere where mistakes are seen as part of the learning process, and where team members feel safe to take risks and innovate without the fear of retribution. This environment not only encourages personal growth but also drives the entire organization forward. Moreover, forgiveness also plays a crucial role in the way businesses approach customer relationships. Businesses that practice forgiveness are more likely to create loyal customers who feel valued and understood. When a business makes a mistake, be it a delayed shipment, a wrong order, or an unfortunate customer service experience, how it handles the situation can determine whether the customer will return or not. A company that is quick to apologize, take responsibility, and offer a fair resolution creates an atmosphere of trust and respect. This, in turn, fosters long-term customer loyalty and helps the business grow. Forgiveness, in its essence, allows us to release the burden of past mistakes and look forward to a future where relationships can be restored, progress can be made, and growth is possible. This biblical principle has practical applications in our daily lives. especially in business. Whether we're leading a company, managing a team, or working as part of a larger organization, the power of forgiveness allows us to maintain our humanity, to restore trust, and to build a foundation for success that goes beyond profits and bottom lines. In addition to the interpersonal benefits, forgiveness also has profound effects on our personal well-being. Holding on to anger, resentment, or a sense of injustice can weigh us down emotionally and physically. It can impair our ability to think clearly, make sound decisions, and lead effectively. The Bible teaches that forgiveness is a path to healing, both for ourselves and for those around us. By releasing negative emotions, we free ourselves from the chains of bitterness, and we open our hearts and minds to the possibilities of a brighter, more harmonious future. Forgiveness, when practiced consistently, transforms not only individuals but entire communities and organizations. It is a cornerstone of emotional intelligence, one of the most valued qualities in today's business world. Leaders who can forgive not only promote a healthy workplace but also cultivate an environment where innovation, creativity, and collaboration thrive. In this sense, the Bible's teachings on forgiveness offer timeless wisdom that is as relevant in today's business world as it was in ancient times. The Bible is filled with stories of leaders, figures who shaped nations, guided people, and made decisions that altered the course of history. But what makes these leaders so remarkable? What can we, as business leaders and entrepreneurs, learn from their example? From Moses to King David, the Bible offers a wealth of leadership lessons that remain just as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago. These lessons focus on vision, integrity, humility, and the ability to inspire others to achieve greatness. One of the most powerful leadership lessons in the Bible comes from the story of Moses, who led the Israelites out of slavery in Egypt. Moses' journey was one of incredible hardship, and his leadership was constantly tested. Despite his insecurities and doubts, he rose to the challenge, guiding the Israelites through the wilderness toward the promised land. But Moses' leadership was not about exerting power or control, it was about service and obedience to a higher purpose. Moses' leadership style was rooted in humility and the willingness to listen to others. In Exodus chapter 18, Moses' father-in-law, Jethro, observes Moses trying to lead the people alone, judging disputes and making all the decisions. Jethro advises him to delegate some responsibilities to others so that he does not wear himself out. Moses listens to Jethro's advice and delegates tasks to capable leaders within the community. This moment in Moses' leadership is a powerful reminder that even the strongest leaders need support. No leader can succeed alone, and the ability to delegate and trust others is crucial for sustainable success. In the business world, this lesson is invaluable. Too often, leaders believe that they must handle everything themselves, leading to burnout and inefficiency. Successful leaders understand the importance of building a strong team, empowering others, and allowing team members to take ownership of their roles. Like Moses, the best leaders understand that their success is tied to the success of those around them. Delegation is not a sign of weakness but of wisdom, and it is a crucial skill for any leader who seeks to build a lasting, impactful organization. Another biblical leader who provides profound lessons in leadership is King David. David is often remembered for his courage and faith, particularly in his battle with Goliath. However, David's leadership qualities go far beyond his famous victory over the giant. David was a man after God's own heart, Acts chapter 13 verse 22. And his leadership was defined by a deep sense of integrity, empathy, and justice. David's rise to the throne was not without struggle. He was anointed as king while Saul was still on the throne. And for years, David had to navigate a treacherous political landscape. He faced betrayal, false accusations, and personal loss, yet he never allowed bitterness or pride to take root in his heart. Instead, David sought to serve his people with humility and a sense of duty. Even when he had the opportunity to kill Saul, his predecessor, David chose mercy, saying, "I will not lay a hand on the Lord's anointed." 1 Samuel chapter 24 verse 10. This moment highlights the deep moral compass that guided David's leadership. He understood the importance of doing what was right, even when it was not easy or convenient. For business leaders, David's example teaches us the importance of integrity. In today's competitive world, it's easy to cut corners or make decisions that prioritize short-term gain over long-term values. David's life reminds us that integrity is not just a moral choice, it is a strategic one. Leaders who operate with honesty, transparency, and ethical principles build trust with their teams, customers, and partners. This trust is the foundation for long-term success. In contrast, leaders who sacrifice their integrity for the sake of quick wins risk destroying the very relationships and reputation that are critical to their success. David's leadership also teaches us the importance of empathy. Despite his power, David never lost touch with the needs of his people. When his soldiers were in distress, he shared their burdens and offered comfort. When his own son, Absalom, rebelled against him, David grieved deeply, demonstrating that true leaders are those who care about the well-being of those they lead, even when it involves personal pain. In business, empathy is often overlooked in favor of results-driven strategies. However, leaders who lead with empathy foster strong, loyal teams. Employees who feel valued and understood are more likely to go above and beyond in their work, creating an environment of trust and mutual respect. In an increasingly globalized and diverse business world, empathy also plays a crucial role in cross-cultural understanding and collaboration. Leaders who can empathize with the perspectives of others, whether within their own teams or in the marketplace, are better equipped to navigate the complexities of the modern business landscape. Beyond Moses and David, there are other figures in the Bible whose leadership lessons remain powerful today. For instance, Nehemiah, who led the rebuilding of Jerusalem's walls, demonstrated vision and resilience in the face of enormous opposition. Nehemiah's story teaches us that leadership requires a clear sense of purpose and the courage to pursue it, even when the path is fraught with challenges. Nehemiah's ability to inspire his people to work together towards a common goal is a testament to the power of shared vision and collective effort. Similarly, the Apostle Paul provides lessons in perseverance and adaptability. As a missionary and leader, Paul encountered countless trials, shipwrecks, imprisonments, and persecution, but he remained steadfast in his mission to spread the gospel. Paul's unwavering commitment to his vision, despite facing extreme hardships, is a reminder that great leaders must be resilient in the face of adversity. They must maintain their focus on the long-term mission, even when obstacles seem insurmountable. What all these leaders have in common is that their leadership was grounded in a higher purpose, a purpose that went beyond personal gain or ambition. Whether it was serving God, guiding their people, or fulfilling a mission, these leaders understood that true leadership is about service. In business, this lesson is critical. Leaders who are driven by a sense of purpose, whether it's creating value for customers, improving their communities, or advancing a larger cause, are more likely to inspire others and create lasting impact. In today's fast-paced business environment, it's easy to become consumed with profits, targets, and results, but the Bible teaches us that leadership, at its core, is about service, integrity, empathy, and vision. Leaders who embody these values are not only successful in their own right, they also inspire others to achieve greatness and build organizations that can stand the test of time. Another critical lesson from the Bible that holds immense value for business leaders is the importance of patience and perseverance in the face of adversity. The Bible teaches that success and growth often come not through immediate results but through enduring hardship, facing setbacks, and maintaining faith in God's timing. These principles are as essential for business leaders today as they were for the biblical figures who faced enormous challenges. One of the clearest examples of perseverance in the Bible is the story of Job. Job was a wealthy and respected man, but he faced immense suffering when he lost his health, his wealth, and his family. Despite his overwhelming grief and pain, Job refused to curse God or abandon his faith. Instead, he chose to endure and remain steadfast, trusting that God had a purpose even in his suffering. In Job chapter 1 verse 21, Job famously says, "The Lord gave and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised." Job's story is a powerful reminder that adversity is a part of life, but it is how we respond to that adversity that matters. In business, there will inevitably be challenges, financial setbacks, market disruptions, competitive pressures, and internal conflicts. What sets successful business leaders apart is their ability to persevere through these challenges, maintaining their commitment to their vision and values even when circumstances are tough. Like Job, they choose to view setbacks as temporary obstacles, rather than permanent defeats. Patience is also an essential quality for business leaders. In an age of instant gratification, where we expect quick results and fast solutions, patience may seem like a virtue that has been lost. However, the Bible teaches us that true success comes from long-term dedication, steady progress, and the willingness to wait for the right time. James chapter 5 verses 7 to 8 tells us, "Be patient then, brothers and sisters, until the Lord's coming. See how the farmer waits for the land to yield its valuable crop, patiently waiting for the autumn and spring rains. You too, be patient and stand firm, because the Lord's coming is near." This passage illustrates the importance of patience in achieving lasting success. The farmer doesn't expect immediate results after planting a seed. Instead, he waits for the right seasons and weather conditions to bring about the harvest. Similarly, in business, success doesn't come overnight. It requires patience to build relationships, establish trust, develop a strong brand, and create a company culture that fosters long-term growth. Business leaders who understand the value of patience are more likely to stay focused on their long-term goals, rather than becoming discouraged by short-term setbacks or fluctuations. The story of the Apostle Paul is another profound example of perseverance. Paul faced tremendous opposition in his mission to spread the gospel. He was imprisoned, beaten, shipwrecked, and constantly under threat of death. Yet, despite all the trials he endured, Paul remained committed to his purpose and continued his work. In 2 Corinthians chapter 4 verses 8 to 9, Paul writes, "We are hard pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed." Paul's resilience and unwavering faith in his mission can be applied directly to the world of business. Entrepreneurs and leaders often face numerous obstacles, including financial difficulties, competition, market changes, and internal struggles. However, like Paul, successful leaders don't allow these challenges to define them or break their spirit. Instead, they use adversity as an opportunity to learn, adapt, and grow stronger. They understand that perseverance, even in the face of overwhelming odds, is often the key to ultimate success. In addition to patience and perseverance, the Bible also teaches us the importance of maintaining hope and trust in God's plan. The book of Hebrews chapter 10 verse 35-36 encourages believers, saying, "So do not throw away your confidence, it will be richly rewarded." You need to persevere so that when you have done the will of God, you will receive what He has promised. This passage highlights the connection between perseverance and reward. It reminds us that, though we may face difficulties, there is a divine promise of eventual success and fulfillment if we remain faithful to the journey. In business, this passage resonates strongly. Leaders who persevere with integrity, who continue to work hard and stay committed to their mission even when things seem uncertain, are often the ones who achieve lasting success. The process of building a business is rarely linear. There will be ups and downs along the way. However, those who trust that their efforts will be rewarded in time are more likely to stay the course and emerge stronger from their challenges. One powerful illustration of the importance of perseverance in business is the story of Thomas Edison. The famous inventor, Edison encountered countless failures before successfully inventing the light bulb. In fact, he is quoted as saying, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison's mindset of viewing failure as a stepping stone rather than an insurmountable obstacle reflects the biblical attitude of perseverance and faith. His dedication and willingness to keep trying, even after repeated setbacks, ultimately led to one of the most significant inventions in history. For business leaders today, Edison's story serves as a reminder that failure is not the end of the road, it is simply part of the journey. Just as the Bible teaches us to persevere through trials and setbacks, so too must we be willing to learn from our mistakes and keep moving forward. Whether it's a failed product launch, an unsuccessful marketing campaign, or an internal conflict, setbacks in business are inevitable. The key is not to allow these failures to define us, but to use them as opportunities for growth and innovation. Patience and perseverance are not passive qualities, they require active engagement and a proactive mindset. Successful leaders are not those who sit back and wait for success to come to them. Rather, they are those who continue to push forward. Even when the odds are stacked against them, they maintain their focus on the end goal and trust that their hard work dedication, and faith will eventually lead to success. In conclusion, the Bible's teachings on patience and perseverance offer invaluable guidance for business leaders. Whether facing personal challenges, economic hardships, or professional setbacks, the ability to remain patient and persevere through adversity is crucial for long-term success. By maintaining faith in the process, trusting in God's timing, and continuing to work diligently, leaders can overcome obstacles and achieve their goals. Just as Job, Paul, and countless others in the Bible endured hardship with unwavering faith, so too can we as business leaders find strength in the midst of adversity, knowing that our perseverance will ultimately lead to victory. As we come to the end of this deep dive into the secret teachings of the Bible, it is clear that the wisdom contained in its pages transcends time, culture, and circumstance. From the principles of leadership to the importance of patience, perseverance, and discernment, the Bible offers a treasure trove of guidance that can be applied in the modern business world. But above all, one of the most profound lessons we learn from these ancient texts is that true success, whether in business, in personal life, or in our relationships, comes not from material wealth or fleeting achievements, but from wisdom, faith, and a commitment to doing what is right. As we reflect on the stories and teachings explored in this narrative, we find that each of the great figures of the Bible, whether King Solomon, Job, Daniel, or the Apostle Paul, faced challenges that seemed insurmountable. Yet, they did not allow their circumstances to define them. Instead, they remained steadfast in their faith and commitment to divine wisdom, understanding that true victory is not about avoiding hardship, but about how we face it. They recognized that their trust in God's plan, paired with their diligent efforts, would ultimately lead to their reward. This mindset is one that every business leader can adopt, for it is through such an unwavering commitment to higher values that one can navigate even the stormiest of waters. In the world of business, it is easy to become caught up in the pursuit of immediate success. We are often pressured to achieve rapid results, to compete fiercely, and to measure our worth by the tangible metrics of wealth and power. However, the Bible teaches us that the most enduring success comes from doing the right thing, even when it seems difficult or when no immediate rewards are in sight. The value of integrity, patience, and discernment cannot be overstated. A business built on these principles will not only withstand the test of time, but will also create a lasting legacy that positively impacts others. For example, consider the wisdom of Solomon, who, when presented with a decision that could have compromised his integrity, chose the path of righteousness. His ability to discern what was just and fair in the midst of complexity and potential personal gain is a model that every business leader should strive to emulate. The business world is full of temptations to cut corners or take unethical shortcuts for quick profit. But true success is not found in such transient victories. Like Solomon, we are called to pursue righteousness and wisdom, knowing that in the long run, this will lead to true success, not just in business, but in life. In many ways, Job's story encapsulates the challenges that every business leader faces: the pain of setbacks, the frustration of seeing things not go as planned, and the temptation to question whether it's all worth it. Yet, Job's perseverance and unwavering faith in the face of unimaginable loss offer a powerful example of how to navigate through difficult times. In business, as in life, there will be moments of failure, moments when the road seems endless and the challenges insurmountable. But it is during these times that we must remember the story of Job. Our faith and our resilience will see us through, and the rewards for enduring through hardship are far greater than any immediate gain. The Apostle Paul's journey is also an exemplary model for leadership in business. His life was a testament to the power of enduring faith, resilience, and unwavering commitment to one's purpose. Despite facing imprisonment, physical suffering, and constant danger, Paul never lost sight of his mission. His unyielding faith in God's plan gave him the strength to overcome adversity, and his ability to stay focused on his higher calling, rather than personal comfort or immediate success, allowed him to make a lasting impact on the world. In the fast-paced, often cutthroat environment of business, this is a lesson we can all learn from. The temptation to give up or compromise in the face of challenges is powerful, but it is those who remain true to their mission, their values, and their faith that ultimately achieve the greatest and most lasting success. as we conclude this exploration of biblical teachings and their relevance to modern business. It is essential to remember that success is not just about what we achieve, but about who we become in the process. The wisdom of the Bible teaches us that the foundation of a thriving business is not built on numbers alone, but on the character of the leaders who guide it. Integrity, discernment, patience, and perseverance, these are the qualities that define a truly successful business, one that will endure the test of time and contribute to the greater good. Moreover, the Bible offers a profound perspective on the concept of service. In Mark chapter 9 verse 35, Jesus taught his disciples, "Anyone who wants to be first must be the very last, and the servant of all." This radical idea flips the traditional understanding of leadership. In the world of business, it is often assumed that leaders must seek power, wealth, and authority over others, but the Bible challenges this notion, urging leaders to serve others, to put the needs of their employees, customers, and communities before their own. Business leaders who adopt this mindset create an environment of trust, respect, and collaboration, which ultimately leads to greater success for all involved. When leaders focus on serving others, they build relationships based on mutual respect, creating a positive, thriving organizational culture. This approach to leadership is not only biblically sound, but also proven to be effective in the modern business world. Companies that emphasize servant leadership, where leaders are committed to the well-being and development of their employees, tend to experience higher levels of employee satisfaction, loyalty, and performance. When leaders genuinely care about the people they serve, they foster an environment where everyone can thrive, which, in turn, leads to greater organizational success. In conclusion, the secret teachings of the Bible provide us with timeless wisdom that can guide us not only in our personal lives but also in our professional endeavors. The principles of integrity, patience, perseverance, discernment, and servant leadership are foundational to true success. By applying these principles in our business practices, we can build organizations that are not only financially successful but also ethically grounded and deeply impactful. As we navigate the challenges of the modern business world, let us remember that the greatest rewards are not found in material wealth or fleeting fame, but in the wisdom, faith, and character that guide our decisions. Through this, we create a lasting legacy that transcends business and makes a meaningful contribution to the world.